Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So what I wanted to do in this video is actually go over all the modifications that we are coming up for the F80 M3. Something that I love doing on the channel and kind of with my videos is keep you guys in the loop. Let you know exactly what's going on, what I have planned, what kind of videos, what kind of modifications, that kind of stuff. I really don't like surprises. And another reason why I like doing this is because I get to discuss it before I get to do them. So you guys get an understanding of what's happening with the car, why I'm doing it, going into a little bit more explanation rather than just throwing it on the car and be like, hey, I did this, let's move on to the next thing. So the last few modifications that we have done on the F80, just wanted to kind of give you guys an update since I've been so pleased with them. One of which is the Mishimoto charge cooler that I installed about a month ago. This is the paint match option. I went with the mineral gray metallic. I'm very, very happy I decided to go with the paint match. Typically, they're just normally black, but I spent a little bit extra to get it to match the exterior color, which I think is a really nice touch with all the Venturi carbon and everything. I think it kind of breaks it up a little bit. And plus, it almost looks like it's meant to be there. Looks like an OEM piece. But overall, I have the AK Motion vent display, so I get to keep an eye on my coolant temperatures and everything, and it is drastically different. I'm talking like 15 to 20 degrees lower or cooler than it normally was with the stock charge cooler, so really, really nice. And the really cool thing is when I'm beating on the car or it's really warm out, especially this past few weeks, it's been like 95, 100 here in New Jersey, I can, no joke, open up the hood and put my hand right onto the charge cooler and it is as cold as can be. The second thing I want to update you guys on are the Akabono ceramic brake pads. I've been driving this car for the past 2 weeks and the wheels still look pretty decently clean. Now there is some brake dust. As you can see, I wiped my finger on there. It's like 95% better. I wasn't expecting it completely clean like ceramics, the carbon ceramic brakes, but massive, massive, massive difference. These things would be completely orange by now, especially the rears. I mean, they always stay pretty clean, but these are even cleaner than ever. So I have been really, really happy with the brake pad change. So if you're looking for some really nice brake pads that don't break the bank, this was at $170 for the fronts and the rears. You guys saw me install those. Not too bad at all. I've been really, really happy with them. I've driven with them hard and everything, and I honestly have not noticed a big difference in overall bite. So those two things, very, very happy with. But let's move on to the upcoming mods that I got over there in the workbench. So we are actually about to head up to Auto Couture Motoring for a few modifications this week. First thing and main thing I really want to get installed is actually this. This is the Auto Solutions short shift kit. Now I ordered this back in April and it took about 2 months, a little over 2 months for this to arrive. The reason as to why this takes so long is because these are handmade to your specifications. Ronald, who owns Auto Solutions, it's a very, very unorthodox way to order these. You actually fill out a form on his website, send it through his email, and then you go back and forth and kind of discuss the options that you want. Now, this is an absolutely beautiful piece. Again, handmade, and it's very, very high quality. I was going to go with the CAE or the other few of that type of style, but I decided to stick to the OEM style, to stick to that OEM plus kind of where I go with my cars. And not to mention, I feel like I would miss rowing through, actual gears if I were to go with a racing type of shifter. So Auto Solutions, this is the one I decided to go with. The install is pretty annoying and kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm having my shop do it. I would do it myself, but not the easiest thing to install. I've done short shift kits on previous cars, but on the F80 or M3s in general, not the funnest thing. So I'm having my shop do it since they've done it 1,000 times and they know what they're doing. So here are the specifications I decided to go with if you guys are curious. I went with 25% reduction throw. So basically it's gonna be 25% shorter throw, and I stuck to the OEM height. And the reason why I stuck to the OEM height is because I'm running the M Performance shifter in here, and that is actually 13 millimeters lower than the stock shifter. So if I were to go to any lower than the stock height that it currently is, it would actually bring this to about 30% shorter throw, which would make it almost somewhat difficult to get into gear. He was not recommending going any shorter. So I stuck to the 25% reduction on the OEM height, which is actually 13 millimeters lower than stock. I also decided to go with his spherical bushings as well. I got the 95A bushings, which are the brass ones, I believe. These are them. I was kind of mentioning I wanted a very, very direct and mechanical feel. And he was like, hey, if you want that, go with my 95A bushings. He has 80, 85, 90, and 95. 95 are the most stiff, I guess. And he said, you're gonna love it. So I've actually had this as well. This is the Turner Motorsport rear shifter bushing. I asked them about this. I said, I had it sitting around. Do you recommend installing it on your shift kit? And he said, actually, if you want the most direct feel, use the bushings included in the kit and don't use this. So I don't think I'm gonna use this, although I've heard a few people install this with the Auto Solutions and they said it was perfect. So I don't know, this is pretty easy to install comparing to the others. So I may just have Auto Couture throw this in. And then in the future, if I wanna try this out, I can just throw this in myself. It's not too bad. So let me know if you guys are running an Auto Solutions and this, if you recommend putting this on or not. I'm not really sure. Again, this is pretty easy to install, so I can do it on my own in the garage if I decide to. Next up on the table, you guys are probably wondering, why in the heck do I have another set of downpipes? Well, I am currently running the R Motorsports resonated downpipes. You guys saw me or Auto Couture installed them when I did the crank hub, and I've absolutely loved the sound. However, I was looking for a little bit more volume, and due to the setup that I'm running on my exhaust, I actually have too many resonators, more resonators than I want. So right now I have a resonated downpipe, a resonated single mid pipe, and I have the muffler delete, but it has an anti-drum muffler. So essentially 3 different resonators or mufflers on the car. That's quieting it down a little too much for me. Now it does have volume when you want it, but I want it a little bit louder. I want it a little bit more aggressive. And going to the non-resonated downpipes, I will be able to get a little bit more aggression, but still keep the rasp down since I'm running a resonated mid pipe. So a lot of people were asking me why I was switching it up. I decided to go with a full non-resonated catless downpipe. These are by VRSF. I got these from my good friend Chris at 88 Motorsports. He got them sent over super, super quick. So I'm really, really happy about that. Now the quality of these are very, very nice, on par, if not better than the R Motorsports ones. So I'm looking forward to getting these on, seeing what it does for the car, and obviously overall the exhaust sound, which should give me a little bit more volume overall and kind of rid all the resonators that I got going on in there. So most people say if you have a resonated mid pipe, go with full catless downpipes, and that is what I'm doing. Gonna change it up. And the great thing about getting these installed at Auto Couture, they need to remove part of the exhaust to get to the short shift kit, the install of that. So the downpipes are right there. So labor for these is, again, going to be cut down dramatically. So it's pretty cheap to get these installed while I'm getting the short shift kit installed. So that is the reason why I am changing up the downpipes. Now you guys may be wondering if I'm selling the R Motorsports resonated downpipes. I actually already did. They're sold. As soon as they come off, they're actually headed out to the subscriber who already purchased them. So sorry to anybody that was interested in them, but that is the main reason why I'm switching it up. I'm very excited to kind of show you the differences between the resonated downpipes and the non-resonated downpipes. It should make for a good video so you guys can really hear the sound difference and just what the resonated downpipes do for the car. So those are coming up very, very soon. Those will be out next week. So you guys will hear my kind of overall review and some video clips of this getting installed, as well as a sound comparison video between the resonated and the non-resonated downpipes. Another thing that I am still waiting on are the Euro sun visors. So I actually took these off about 5 weeks ago, over a month. I tried removing the airbag sticker and it just did not go the way that I wanted it. So I gave up and caved and ordered the Euro versions, which are not the cheapest things in the world, but unfortunately, I didn't know this, they were actually back ordered for 2 to 4 weeks. So we're going on 4 weeks now. So IND has given me an update. They should be here very, very soon. So hopefully I can get my new ones in, because I have been running no sun visors for the last 4 or 5 weeks now. So as you can see, it's got the wires hanging out. Not the prettiest thing without visors there, but it's not holding me back from driving the car. So not the worst thing in the world, but those are going to be installed hopefully very, very soon. I'll get them in. I'll update you guys and obviously show you the difference, how much nicer they look and everything. Now, 2 other things I want to go over really quick. I'm actually looking at different rotors. So these rotors only have 22,000 miles on them. They're very, very fresh. There's no wear or tear or anything wrong about them. There's no cracks or anything. As I mentioned, I just did the Acabona ceramic pads, but I noticed on the vanes, on the venting on the inside of the rotor are pretty rusted. So that is actually contributing to some of the brake dust and the orangeness on the wheels. So after I wash, the rotors do get a little rusty. And once I start driving, that kind of dusts off and gets onto the wheel. So I was contemplating going with some nice new rotors. Now, obviously I can just go with OEMs and, enjoy those, but the same thing's gonna happen. So I was looking at some upgraded, nicer rotors. So I was actually looking at the brand called Gyro Disc. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with those. I have been a really, really big fan of those rotors. I actually almost ran them on my STI, but I decided to go with a Rotor Big Brake kit on that car. Love that kit, but for this, I think some nice rotors would go a long way since the brake kit is pretty nice. So I was looking at the Gyro Disc rotors. Now, again, not the cheapest things in the world, a full set. We're looking at over $2,000 for just rotors, which is pretty crazy, but they are really, really nice. Also, another reason why I wanted to go with them as well is because I'm not a big fan of drilled rotors. They look cool, but they're actually more prone to cracking since there's literally holes straight through the rotors. And between each hole, they can crack over time once they get worn. And the Gyro Disc rotors are actually slotted, which is better overall for long-term reliability and longevity. So I'm thinking about going with those. Plus they're two-piece, which look really, really nice. And why not? So we might do some Gyro Disc rotors. I'm still kind of back and forth on it. I may rock these for a little bit and then eventually pick up the Gyro Disc ones. But let me know what you guys think. Should I go with the Gyro Disc or just hang on to these and maybe invest that money somewhere else on the car? But I'm really kind of leaning towards going with those nice rotors. Also, I've talked about this before, but seats. I am back and forth on what I want to do. So the stock seats are really nice. I have no complaints about them, but I guess the only thing that I would like for the stock seats to have is to sit a little bit lower. Now, thankfully, comparing to my E46, these do sit pretty darn low in comparison. I know in the E9X series or generation as well, they don't sit well, they sit pretty high. It feels like you're on top of the car. So the F80 seats aren't the worst in the world, but I wanna go a little bit lower. I'm 6 feet tall exactly. I'm not the tallest dude in the world, but I'm not the shortest dude in the world. But personally, I like to sit a little bit lower in my cars. I just like the way it feels and just the driving position much better. So I've talked about this before, but I am back and forth on which direction to go. So right now, it's between the AMX Performance Sportsters, which you can get a custom kind of material and custom design that you want, which are very, very expensive. For the set that I would like is around $8,000 shipped from Germany. Yes, they are very expensive, but I do think they're worth it with the quality of work. Plus, you retain the airbag as well as the factory seating through the factory switch, so nothing is changing. You just plug everything in and you get some really nice Recars in here that work with all the OEM functions to your specifications. They are legitimately a plug and play setup and they're very, very beautiful. Also, I'm thinking about going with a little bit less expensive option and just get some Recaro pole positions in here or something. Obviously a much cheaper option. There's some really nice options you can go with the pole positions in terms of material. I haven't really decided on which one, although I do like the leather sides with the suede or Alcantara centers. So I may go with those just to kind of test them out and see how it is in this car, see, sitting a little bit lower. I have driven full buckets in M3s, my E46. I had some Race Tech full on track bucket seats in that car and it was a lot of fun. So I don't know. I'm back and forth on which route I should go. Should I even mess with seats, that kind of thing. I know at the end of the day, I would love to have the AMX Performance ones, but they are very expensive. So I've been back and forth on that. Let me know what you guys think. Pole positions or the AMX Performance Sportsters. Last but not least, I know I said two things, but a hood. I have been talking about or wanting a CS hood for a while. I really, really, really want to try to find an OEM one, as I mentioned. Probably going to be one of those things that if I find it one day and it's at a really good deal, I'll snag it. But it's proving to be pretty difficult to find not only an OEM hood in mineral grade metallic, but also one that's local or at least somewhat close that I can come pick up. If I've ever found one, it's in a completely different country or really far away and the seller does not want to ship it, which I don't blame them. It's a very, very big piece. So I don't know, we will see. I know there's some really nice aluminum versions out there, which this hood is, so it's not like I'm going from carbon to aluminum. So I don't know. Let me know if there's some really, really nice fitting aftermarket hoods. that you know, don't require too much work to get them to fit as good as OEM, maybe even better. I'd be interested in that, but I have been looking for one already painted mineral gray to maybe kind of cut down on the cost, but proving to be pretty difficult. But the good thing is the OEM hood is very, very nice, and this one is PPF'd as well, and also ceramic coated and corrected and everything. So I'm not in the biggest rush to do it, but I would really, really love to get a hood to kind of tie everything together. All right, so another quick thing I wanted to show you guys, I wanted to get your opinion on. This is the passenger side, and my car came with the OEM M Performance splitters. But what I've been noticing lately is that if you look, the carbon or the gel coat, the clear coat on there is starting to yellow a little bit. Now the driver's side isn't, but the passenger side is. Not the prettiest looking thing in the world, as you can tell from the lip and also the little fangs up here. This is yellowing just a little bit on the top side. They are ceramic coated and everything, so you know they were protected, but obviously I think this started happening prior to my ownership, and I'm just now noticing it as time progresses, and you know, I see the comparison. And unfortunately, I think, well, I know it is. You can actually see it right over here. These are beta locked in. You know, they use the super tough super glue from the factory or from the dealership to put these on. So taking these off would A, destroy the splitter, but also rip the paint off the bumper. So it's a no-go to take this thing off. So I was wondering if there was a way to sand this down and re-clear it while it's on the car. I was thinking about doing that. I don't know. I'm back and forth on it. It's kind of annoying me, but it's pretty noticeable, especially when there's light on it. Now, if you look on the driver's side, this side is perfect. It's exactly the same coloring as the lip and everything, so there's no yellowing going on there. So kind of annoying, kind of frustrating, because obviously it's something that would be an easy fix, but since it has the beta lock on there, it makes it way, way, way more difficult. Not to mention I have the lip on there, so I'd have to take the lip off because the lip is drilled through the splitter to the bumper. So it's not the easiest thing in the world. I figured I'd mention that, maybe get your guys' opinion if you guys know some other options to do it. I don't want to start wet sanding it down and then find that it's just gonna ruin it, and you know, then I'm kind of stuck with a really, really crappy looking splitter. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think, if you have some options or some ideas as how to correct that. But otherwise, as for updates for the mods, that is what we got going on here. Super happy with the most recent mods. Got some downpipes, short shift kit going on. Can do some nice videos on that, going over all the options and overall the review and what I think of these things. Obviously some sound clips of the downpipes in comparison to the resonator ones. So there should be some fun videos coming up. I also got a lot more planned. My buddy's got more things coming for the G80. I actually got mods for the truck coming. But I had some free time. Thought I would make this video, kind of go over everything coming up for the F80 so far. And obviously some things that I'm thinking about as well to get your feedback on and kind of see what you guys are thinking about and help me out here. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below about everything we talked about. Maybe you can help me out with the seats, the rotors, as well as the yellowing carbon that I got going on up there. Give me some ideas on how to resurrect that. But if you guys have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple. I'll catch you guys in the next one.